to yank this door open.
You yank the doors open. You see a beautiful entrance hall.
Am I in it?
Chris is not in it.
I yell, Trusty!
I need a wider map here. We got 2 mirror mansions now.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Okay.
So, I'm
gonna have you both make insight checks at this point.
Okay. Oh, that's a critical fail.
Okay.
Total of 12.
Awesome.
Here we go.
Here we go.
So it's just like, it's well lit, I can see everything.
Yeah, you see the checker floor, you can see everything Chris I described to Chris. But no Chris. Chris,
Trusty.
Trusty, you're in the mansion, doors are closed behind you, they haven't opened again, you're just pointing your gun hands.
I'm kind of ready to make sure nothing is going on. I reach one hand back to the door, kind of jiggle it. Does it lock?
It's locked. It feels clammy as if with sweat.
So, pull it back, my hand back off it. I got a bad feeling about this.
Oh.
And now, Mr. One on this inside check, a servant walks up to you. And it's like, oh, sir, you've arrived. Do you have an invitation?
I searched my pockets for an invitation.
You have an invitation, and you'll notice you're wearing a tuxedo.
Fantastic. And so, Trusty, something seems off, but he can't quite place it. So he goes...
You can't place it at all, man.
Yeah.
Mr. One on your insight check.
I'm sorry. So he goes, yes, I have an invitation too. And he looks at the ticket.
You're looking at the grant, like a ticket to Lord Ursus's ball.
Yeah.
And presenting the grand unveiling of the immortal man.
Wow. Yes, I have a ticket right here.
And you hear, it's like, oh, great, excellent. Should I escort you to the ballroom?
Yes, please, lead the way.
Okay, so you go through and you enter.
Who is this doctor, I say to him as we go?
Oh, Dr. Ursus. He's the one who owns this mansion. He's, he's doing commission work for the military, and they've asked him to build an immortal man, and he's done it.
Amazing.
Or so they say. And so he's invited all of his friends and the high-ranking military to...
Trustee straightens his bow tie, and we enter through the ballroom.
This will change the face of the war. So you're entering through you're going through an entrance hall. Make an insight check.
That is 28.
28. The servant and the servant disappears. You're basically in an entrance hall. It appears beautiful, but and between the doors that are like the big entrance hall doors behind you and the entrance hall doors in front of you, there is a mass. And anytime after Chris has done this room, it'll be your turn.
Yeah,
we'll go from a room to room basis.
Yeah, we'll switch back and forth.
So there's a fleshy ooze that goes across the floor, like seeping out from underneath the door, and you can see 2 men frozen in agonizing poses, and they're kind of glued to the floor.
So Trusty kind of catches his breath, like being caught out of a dream as he sees this, and he kind of shakes himself back into this world, and he brings up his hand, takes a step back from the ooze.
Okay. Cool. It's because you paused there. I guess we'll switch to Scramset. Scramset.
So I've just entered this room. I've yelled out Trusty's name.
Okay.
I'm assuming there's nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. Okay. So my initial response is to immediately hide myself. Just stealth, hide in plain sight, something. Alright. That's a total of 21.
Artfully duck behind a potted plant.
Yes. And I listen. I just listen for anything.
Make an insight check.
Insight, not perception.
Insight.
Oh, fine.
And this match is going to be insight for a lot of things.
Dang it. Well, oh, wow. Critical fail again.
You hear the sound of a ball coming from these doors.
Okay, but I still hear I hear sounds of a ballroom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Coming from these doors.
Okay.
So you rolled... I'm just going to make numbers here. So when you rolled a 1 on that perception check in this room, and you rolled a 20.
28.
20.
Insight check.
Insight, yeah.
So, since I'm hiding in plain sight doesn't mean that I don't need to hide behind something.
No, I just kind of use that as to find because the image of you, because you don't have the power of visibility, the image of you just standing there and being all of a sudden disappearing. Yeah. Whereas I imagine you're hiding in plain sight, if you can find something to even duck behind briefly, you're gone forever.
So what I want to do then is sneak around, I want to hug walls, do anything to keep myself hidden, and I want to try and look in through the doors there.
Okay. So through these ones?
Through where the sound is coming from.
Okay.
I want to actively be looking if I'm crossing hallways.
So you go through and you open it and you see an entrance hall. I need you to make an insight check.
Wow! Critical fail again.
Okay. This is what you see. You basically, it's a lovely hall, well lit. Sounds of the ballroom. You see a young servant, basically hung by the door, like, "Oh, hello, sir. The ballroom's right this way."
He sees me.
Yes. And right, you were stealth. Sorry, I apologize. I will roll a perception check there.
Thank you.
Okay, so you sneak in, past the servant who's standing attentively by the door.
Mm-hmm.
You see a young, well-dressed couple, basically whispering to each other's ears underneath the portrait.
Underneath, can I hear what they're saying?
Sure, you can just totally hear what they're saying. And they're basically whispering, like, it's basically sweet nothings into each other's ears, playful flirtation.
Okay, can I sneak by them?
Yeah, I'll roll for them. Cool. So you sneak past them.
Sneak past them, and is there doors at the other end here that lead into the ballroom?
Yep, into the ballroom.
Okay, I want to sneak by them, and I'm gonna just peer into it. Peer in there.
We're gonna cut to Chris.
Okay.
Chris.
Yeah. Trust me.
You see Scramstead walking past you through over the fleshy floor, past the bodies, screaming in agony, going towards the ballroom door.
I say, But first, I whip out my notepad that I would probably have on me.
Okay.
And I search for my case files of what the two people, or two comrades, look like. Did they look like these two?
It's totally them.
Chills run down his spine.
Okay.
And he yells, Omega!
As soon as you try to make contact with him, Scramstead disappears. It's basically like you see a ghost of your friend walking past you.
Shit. He swears and curses under his breath and over it. And he takes a loose cigarette out from his pack, tosses it into the green ooze.
It's not green, it's flesh color.
Oh,
basically imagine if flesh melted and just was spread everywhere.
And what do these two figures look like?
Basically, it looks like they were running from something, and then basically a wave of whatever this flesh was basically caught them and solidified them into place.
Okay, I take a cigarette and toss it onto the flesh.
Okay, is it a lit cigarette?
No.
Okay, the flesh doesn't react.
Alright, can I reach down and pick it up? Very
sure.
quickly.
Okay, so you reach down and you touch the cigarette, and the basically it won't lift from the flesh without you having to give it a significant...
Okay.
The flesh seemed to be trying to take faint hold of it.
Okay. Whew, boy, I look back. Is there, do I still see the ballroom back there?
Yes, you do.
I go, damn it. Check the cell phone, no signal.
No signal.
It's even, scrambly a bit.
Yeah.
My background picture isn't coming up. Alright. I take a shot at the floor.
Okay. You take a shot at the floor. What happens is this. The flesh reacts. It basically shifts and moves as if basically when you strike someone and people react in pain, that kind of immediate reaction, that's what the floor does.
And
it just shifts away.
And there was a door on the other side.
Yeah. And but you also see the frozen bodies of Cauliflower and Garfield shift and react as well.
So, I would like to do, I guess, an insight or an investigate to try and piece together that they are now a part of this.
Sure.
Okay. That is... what am I rolling here?
You're really investigate.
Okay, that's 23.
23. Okay, I'm just going to check to see what modifiers this check has. Cool. Yes, they are now a part of this flesh thing.
Oh, mother of God. So, would I be hurting them by shooting this flesh thing? Okay, and is it rolling away? What is it, or is it just reacting?
It reacted. It retreated a little bit, but it doesn't retreat that much.
I start taking a lot of shots at it to try and get it to back up.
Okay, it backs up.
Does it split? Because
basically it thins out, but the parts that thin out, they kind of bunch up around the wall.
Yeah.
But the floor is still kind of coated, and basically Garfield and Cauliflower have melted into the walls.
Okay. So he goes, well,
it's all very gross.
Mission is coming up a bit bad. Takes a cigarette and lights it, and start smoking.
Okay, for this night's speed pause, we're going to go to Scramstead. You're entering a ballroom.
So I look inside. I'm still stealth. You want me to make any?
You don't need to make another stealth check. I'm going to make an insight check looking at the ballroom.
Total of 21.
21. Great. You see it's no longer a nice hallway. Basically, you're keeping ducking in and out in reality, depending on what your insight rolls from room to room.
So I'm getting really messed in the head right now.
Yeah, so what you see is a horrifying image of a whole ballroom covered in melted flesh. Like if someone just melted bodies and just let them spread out, that's what you're seeing.
And if I look back in the hallway that I'm in, it's the same thing I saw before?
Same thing you saw before.
It's like this nice thing and then this disgusting covered with melted flesh room.
Okay. And there's and you can see the pillars of the ballroom. It looks like the flesh was trying to climb up it. And you see in the distance, you see another great set of doors. And you see there's a balcony that winds along the top of the room.
Yeah.
And there's 2 sets of staircases leading down from either. So basically, if you look up, there's a staircase leading on your right and on your left, big wide ballroom type staircases, 2 balconies overlooking.
And I no longer hear the music.
You hear music. A very faint music.
Very faint. So all this flesh stuff is on the floor.
Ballroom music is a prevalent thing throughout the mansion. You will be continuously hearing this music.
It's all this flesh stuff is on the floor too, right?
Yeah. It's like someone dumped a bunch of mud, only flesh.
I take my sword and I poke it.
Okay. You poke it, and it kind of reacts, and a faint, basically, if someone tried to remember what a hand looked like, a little arm, but it couldn't quite get all the fingers and, muscle structure right, kind of, forms and tries to faintly grab your sword, but it's too weak to really grasp the thing.
I yank back and slash at it.
Okay. You slash at it. You cut it off, and it just melts into the floor again, and you hear a faint rumble.
A rumble?
Yeah.
Do I hear a rumble?
Cut to Chris.
This is so gross.
Make an insight check if you're listening for the ballroom.
That is 18.
18. Okay. You just hear music. Lots of music and lots of good times.
Bad feeling about this. I check my watch.
Okay.
Has time passed?
Depends on what room you're in. So because you're in this room, only 15 minutes have passed.
Okay. I would like to try and piece together whether or not they would be able to come in and see us. When the outside people... Trusty, in his mind...
Make an investigation.
Yes. That's 18.
You don't have enough evidence to really piece this together.
So the thought's playing in his mind, but he isn't quite sure. So
you can't get a hold of Scramps, and maybe you should try working on, maybe if you find a way to get in touch with Scramps that you could get... Maybe you can figure out if they can see you too.
Yeah.
From what you're seeing, every time someone enters, everyone's in a different version of the mansion.
I shoot at the door.
Okay.
I try to blast through it.
Cool. You shoot at the door, and basically flecks from the wood come up, you shoot holes through it. You're shooting at the door.
Yeah. Is the flesh kind of... I'd like to go full force... just Moses my way with my gunshots across the floor.
Okay, the flesh will not completely go away from the floor. It is very thin, though. It is reacting in pain, but it is in a way attached to the floor.
Okay.
It is spreading up the walls in reaction, though, so the mass is somewhere else, and it's now on the ceiling, kind of look like ceiling as well.
Oh, man. This is exactly what I didn't want. Alright. Trusty goes... Now or never, and makes a run for the door.
Okay, make an agility check.
Okay.
Agility.
That's, I think, agility. That's 14.
14.
Yes.
Total?
Yes.
Okay, so basically, something's reaching down for you, but you bat it out of the way. It's basically you see that the cauliflower's body has grown out of the ceiling.
Ugh.
It's like a melted version of a cauliflower. And he's like... And then you bat his arm out of the way. Enter the ballroom.
Okay. Yeah, oh, fantastic.
Your perception check was 18 for the ballroom. Ball! People are swinging in circles and dancing.
I don't think I had a perception check for the ballroom.
When you're listening for the ball, there's the insight used for that. Same deal, only less melted flesh and more people having a good time, parties. There's like beautiful women up on the balconies looking down.
So
there's dignitaries.
I've crossed 3 rooms. I've crossed the main entrance. I've crossed this kind of hallway.
Yeah.
And I'm now in this ballroom. So when I look back through the doors, do I see ballroom, weird fleshy hallway, and then nice place again?
Yes.
Or,
It's like the exact opposite of what I see.
Yeah. And you see a podium in the middle of the.
Am I in my tux again?
There's also a band playing in the corner. It's all just you're in your tux again.
Fantastic, I go.
And the servant that was walking ahead of you is like, "Oh, here you are, sir."
Thank you.
Is there a title I should introduce you as?
Leo. Leonardo Switch. Switch?
Leopold is the guy's
Leopold.
name.
Sorry, I just have Leo.
Presenting. Where are you from? Are you an ambassador or diplomat? An oil tycoon? Like, sir, gotta give me something. You can't just be Leopold Schwitz here.
I am in the business of war.
Lieutenant, corporal, arms manufacturer, Okay. Presenting the arms manufacturer, Leopold Schwitz.
And we're in Germany right now.
Yes. So everyone's speaking. You guys are very fluent in languages. We just
it's like Hunt for Red October German.
We need to go someplace people speak English.
Everyone is speaking English.
It's all very we're operating by cinematic rules.
Yeah, it's our fantasy.
You guys are both in this room. You guys are taking turns as you're in this room. Like whenever you guys feel like jumping into action. Meanwhile, while you're doing this, introduction, Scram says poking the floor with his sword.
Okay.
And you hear a rumbling.
I hear a rumbling. Do I look back and are the people in the hallway making any kind of reaction to it?
Nope.
Okay.
It's as if you're in a different world right now.
Yeah, so I'm like standing on the threshold of these 2 rooms.
2 different times.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get cancer for this. Like, who knows?
So, oh my goodness. And so I see a big set of
double doors,
but everything is just melted flesh all over this.
Yeah.
Ballroom.
And it looks like it rushed out from those double doors. Okay.
Oh,
and those also. I gotta wait till you get on the balcony.
Sorry, not gonna look at that map.
Well then, okay. Here's what I want to try and do. I want to light a flashbang right in the middle of the room.
Okay. You set a flashbang in the middle of the room. Big explosion of light.
Nothing
happens.
Dang it. Okay. Well, I look back, and does the flesh seem to just stop at the threshold into this hallway?
Not in a straight line. It's like as if something's. There's like if you look closely at it, it kind of gives you a headache. Because it doesn't look like it stops, but it kind of does. It's like you're looking at it 2 different times. It doesn't. Your brain doesn't really.
Here's what I want to try and do. I want to keep my foot on the ground, slide it from the hallway into the room without it leaving the ground, and see what happens. And then I want to slide it back and forth, just testing here.
So he gets nicer like shoes as it goes back and forth.
Almost, yeah. Because when you were through the hallway where it's nice, you were dressed in a tux, and you weren't.
And so now I'm noticing this. I'm like, what the?
Yeah, you slide your foot here with weird H&M sneakers, I guess.
Yeah. So as I slide it into the ballroom, what do I notice, like with the flesh and everything?
The flesh, basically, it's basically like walking on toffee. That's the kind of.
So it's just sticky.
It's sticky.
Okay.
But the stick comes from it kind of weakly trying to grab your foot.
Okay.
Yeah. Like if you were to stand there long enough, like I'm sure with your sliding testing it, it's kind of like the flesh slowly grows around your foot, but very slowly.
Right, and as I pull it back, it
retracts, because it's not strong enough to really.
Okay, then here's what I want to do. I want to, and so I don't see a big podium like Chris did in the middle.
Well, it's covered in flesh.
Right, so I just see a big mound of flesh in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Scram said you are looking at the big pile of flesh.
In the middle of the room, yeah.
In the middle of the room. It's like a lump. It's not like a big pile. It's like it's like a small hillock of flesh.
Okay, so I want to avoid that.
Okay, but you also...
I'm going to walk into the room.
You also do see a faint flicker of Chris in the room. And that's all you see of Chris. Trusty Cole.
Okay, as I see him, I don't yell this way. I go, Trusty! Anything?
Nothing.
Do I hear him?
Do I still see him?
Actually, make an insight check.
That is 22.
You hear the faint voice of Omega in the voice going, Trusty. But it sounds distant, it's like a breeze.
Yeah, it's like
your name.
Okay. So the music's playing. I kind of look around.
And I see him
don't
looking.
him.
And briefly, they vanishes into the...
And I don't see him. I go, who's
you
Trusty?
do see?
I go, who's Trusty? Or would I know my own name?
Yeah, you would know your own name,
Okay.
Trusty Cole.
Well, I'm in this...
Oh, yeah, you would know.
Right.
But a young woman approaches you, who looks remarkably...
like
Oh.
a 1950s version of someone out of a musical.
And she says, would you care for a dance?
And so there's something about her, and I go,
It's Aunt. She's like,
no, but I wouldn't know her yet, would I? Or would I know?
You would know her. You recognize her as
I
Anna Marie.
I don't
your
know.
wife.
I don't know if we're like meeting for the first time at this bar. So I go, Anna Marie.
She's like, would you care to dance?
I'd love to.
And you guys dance. Scramps it. You see Chris begin to whirl in the room and then just disappear. And
Disappear. I say it again. Trusty.
you don't hear him anymore.
Okay.
You're too interacted with reconnecting with your dead wife.
Okay, so I go, where have you been?
She's like, I've been dead. You know this.
Oh.
But I'm here to save you.
Save me.
You're
How?
You're in a very dangerous place.
So Trusty knows not. He's a detective. He knows not to go like, oh, swing his head around and go, oh my god. So he kind of brings her in closer to him as they dance closer together and goes, what's going on?
He's like, you're trapped. The immortal man experiment will go wrong tonight, and everyone in this room will die. Everyone in this building will die, and this place will be wiped off the map. I don't want that to happen to you.
What about you?
I'm already dead.
No, I can save you. We can get out. I can feel you right now.
It's like, I'm dead. Trusty.
Oh.
You have to accept this.
Look, we'll deal with this later. We'll deal with this later.
Just
what do we need to do?
when it comes time. And you hear the music of the song begin to die down. It's like, when the time comes, you must follow my lead. And then she kind of just like walks in the crowd. You see the crowd like drift in front of her, but when they part, like, you don't really see her anymore.
Yeah, and
but you do see the door you just came in through open and close as if she had just walked through it.
so, Trusty, like, his heart's beating really fast. It might be like the heavy drinking, might be the cigarettes, but it's most likely her.
Mm-hmm.
And he whispers on his breath,